Hi everyone, this is Martina. Let's talk about cheese a little bit. Now, if you are on the verge of changing your lifestyle and nutrition perhaps, and thinking of going more plant-based and dropping some of the animal products and replacing them with the plant substitute, then listen carefully. And this would be particularly about cheese. Now, we know that cheese in general, dairy cheese, does not supposed to be on our day-to-day menu, right? And everything which is marked as vegan does not necessarily mean healthy or healthier than animal products, right? Now, when we talk about the cheese, those which are sold in conventional large supermarkets are made particularly from coconut fat. Now, coconut fat is saturated fat, and that is the sort of fat which we do not want to eat in abundance. It is connected with increased risk of cardiovascular diseases, among other diseases, right? And so this is not really the healthy options to put on our table, even though being it marked as vegan. Now, among other stuff, or in addition to the saturated fats, shall I rather say, there is no nutritional value whatsoever into these products. Basically, there is perhaps added B12, and I would question what kind of B12, whether is it a passive or the active form. I would think the first one rather than the second one. And so even if you think you might be doing something good for yourself by replacing the cheese, dairy and going more for the plant substitute, opting for the plant-based products, this is not the case. You are not doing anything healthier for yourself. Now we know that the dairy, cheese dairy, is also saturated fat, right? But I have to say the amount of fats in the dairy cheese is somewhat lower than in the coconut-based plant substitutes. In favor of the dairy though, I have to add, it does contain certain amount of protein in addition to the fat, and also certain amount of calcium, which may be from the nutritional point of view, perhaps pointing that the dairy would be the better option, but it is not so. As I have said in the beginning, cheese, dairy, definitely that one which is produced in the big manufacturers and the large productions rather than the small farming houses, it's definitely not counting into the healthy produce and the healthy foods. Now, my point is not to tell you what you should do, right? When you are, however, willing to turn more to the plant-based and you like to have some cheese, there are small producers really, or products that are based on nuts, not really on the coconut fat, but on nuts. And the first three, or the three to go to, are usually almonds, as well as cashews and macadamia nuts. Now, I have to add as well at the same time, all of these products are quite moderately or heavily processed foods. And so, as I have said, not everything which is marked as healthy or as vegan doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy, right? So dairy cheese, as well as plant-based substitutes of dairy, do count as processed foods. And we do know that processed foods are connected with increased cancer risk, etc., right? But if you think that if you'd like to have occasionally this kind of product as a part of your meal plan, make sure that they are nut based, and please ask what kind of ingredients these cheeses have, right? Because beyond the nuts, there must be something else. Something which will hold the mass together, right? Something which gives it a flavor. And so make sure that the amount of ingredients is not more than 3 or 4. That is already quite a processed food, right? And so with that though, it might have certain amount of protein, because with the coconut based products, there is besides the coconut fat, there is potato starch usually added. There is some coloring agent added. There is rice flour even added. So there's a lot of stuff added in the products which make sure that it holds together. It does look as a cheese, perhaps even tastes somewhat as a cheese. However, from the nutritional and health point of view, it is absolutely no added value, just on contrary, right? Now, whereas the nuts based, they do have at least certain amount of protein, because nuts do contain protein. Some of these cheeses or plant-based substitute of cheese are having also some legumes in there too. Mostly is it either soy or fava beans, for example. This increases as well the nutritional value. But nonetheless, either way, it is still processed food. And so by no means this is supposed to be our day-to-day go-to. And it really needs to be, if you can't imagine your life without the cheese, it needs to be very occasionally part of our meal plan. And so whatever you do, I mean, the choice is yours. My point is to give you perspective that not everything which is marked vegan is necessarily healthy. And we need to pay attention to the ingredients list. And that would be valid for all products, regardless if it's a plant-based or if it's animal-based, really. And we need to educate ourselves in order to know what we are buying and what we need to have and what we do not need to have in our products. And so, that's I'll leave you with this. And whatever you do, just know what you do. So I wish you a lot of healthy choices. Bye.